Welcome back to the Parent's Guide to Winning Survival Minecraft. In the previous episode, we built that nice little farm over there. We've built this house. Now we're going to move our focus back to mining. In previous episodes, we would build this nice little stair step down to the bottom. And in the process, I talked about the reason we did that is we didn't want to dig straight down because we can hit lava and die. What I want to do this time is show us how we can dig down and create a more efficient mine, a more permanent mine. To do that, we're going to need wood, because what we're going to want to build is ladders. Ladders will allow us to make a vertical move up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here. We're going to need a lot more wood to be able to build ladders. And the ladders will allow us to, again, allow us to ascend vertically when we build straight down. But what we're going to do is we're not going to build straight down. We're going to create a modified straight down that'll allow us to safely descend. It's getting to be nighttime. I think I have enough wood now. Let me come in here. Let's go to bed so we don't get killed by mobs. I'm really tired of the rain too. We should have a nice sunny day in the morning. And we're going to start thinking about how we're going to build straight down. What we're going to need is, like I said, ladders. And ladders can be made from sticks. And there's 9 ladders right there. We're going to need a lot more ladders, though. Let me go ahead and make this. And let's see. We're going to probably need about 50 ladders. When we think about it, last time we went up and down, about 50 ladders should get us down to the bedrock part. The other thing we're going to need is probably more pickaxes. We're also going to need torches. We've got enough to get us going here. Let's go ahead and make a series of torches. We'll go ahead and grab the ladders. I'm going to go ahead and put some of the stuff away that I don't need anymore. We're not going to need the food. Not going to need the potatoes. We had this. This is for our construction stuff. Oops. Keep the food. Put our construction stuff away. We don't really need that. We don't really need the books right now. I don't really need a compass. The dirt we'll keep. We don't really need windows. We don't really need shears anymore. We don't really need feather. We need a bed. We don't really need the iron hoe right now. Okay, we've got everything we need. Now let's come over here, make another pickaxe for us. We'll make a couple pickaxes. Of course, we don't have enough. Sticks to make. Here we go. There we go. Second pickaxe. That gives us 3 pickaxes. Now we can start thinking about building down. I'm going to use these 3 blocks right here for my mine. You know, let's go make a shovel too. That way it's easier to dig out the dirt. Okay, we're going to build right here these 3 blocks. So before I talked about you can't really build straight down. This is still true. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to build at an angle. Okay, now I've got 3 blocks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this right here the way up. So now we make a ladder. We can go up. We can come back down. One of the things that we got to be worried about a little bit is falling, especially as we get deeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and cover up these 2 blocks for now so that we don't fall when we go straight down. Now, all we have to do to mine is mine the blocks beside us. We come to the edge. Oops, we don't really want to fall like that. And we can mine back down. So here I am, I'm on the edge. I come over, I mine straight down. Now I can kind of come over here and mine. And as I go down, what I need to do is make sure I have to work our way back up the ladders. And then we use, over here, I'm going to put my torches. And I'm just going to continue this pattern here until we get down to the bottom. One of the things I do on the way down also is if I find resources like this, I just go ahead and mine them and then kind of cover up where I've been. and I cover up where I've been. There's a couple reasons I do this. One is to keep mobs from kind of spawning in this area, and secondly, when we get to the bottom, I'll show you why I go about keeping this shaft the way it is throughout the build. Also of note, if you find yourself not able to put a block in with a ladder, what I can do is I can come up and place it that way. That way I don't get all my ladders placed if I need to, in case I dig down too far before I start placing ladders back up. Okay, let's get back to digging. I would like to make a point at this point. If you watch, if you crouch and move over, you can stand on the edge of the mine and allow you to mine down without falling down the other shaft. This is the trick you are using pretty much to avoid falling in lava. That way I can mine down this section over here and still be safe from falling in. Because that's really what we're trying to do here, is we're just trying to avoid falling into lava. Let's continue building. As you may have noticed, I'm kind of running low on ladders at this point. I'm not really worried about running out of ladders because what I can do is I can just use blocks to kind of build back up once I make it to the bottom. I was just estimating how many blocks I needed to get started. We should be getting close to the bottom of the building. And we have made it to a very kind of unfortunate spot. This is what they call a mine shaft. These are very dangerous. And I am just going to wall it off as I continue my traversal down. Those are really nice places to kind of get resources, but at the same time, they are very dangerous. We may explore them, and we will explore them at some point, but for now, I'm just going to avoid it because it is really dangerous. And I really don't want to die. Okay, so we're getting down to the bottom. There's the deep slate. We're getting close. We'll just keep going until we get down there. And there is bedrock. So we've made it down to the bottom at this point. Okay, now we can start thinking about where is the bottom of the world. We've come across some water down here, which is interesting. Let's come down here and see. I don't really see anything useful. We'll grab this redstone while we're down here. Okay, so now we've... One of the things that's painful about water is you can't really mine out of it. Let's get out of here. Okay, now we know that the bottom of the world is pretty much right here. This would be level 5. Where we need to get to is level 11. Go ahead and finish that up. So we're at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go ahead and fill this up as well. 10, 11. Okay, this is what level we want to be for mining. Now, unfortunately, we don't have enough ladders. And we're going to have to kind of, I guess, jump up and make our way back up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're going to need at least 8 ladders. So let's go back up and grab our ladders. finish up getting down to the bottom of the world and being able to extract ourselves. Oh, look at that. We just left the world open to ourselves. It's nighttime. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. Keep things from spawning while we're out here collecting ladders. Okay, now I just have to come back over here. I need some more ladders. 1, 2, 6 should be enough. That gives us 7. Now we can just descend back down. You got to be careful when you're descending like this. The one thing you don't want to do is go off this edge because you're going to fall. And you'll take fall damage and you will die. A rather kind of embarrassing death. Now we're down here at the bottom. What I generally will like to do is mine out an area for mining. Usually I'll kind of come over a block, and I'll explain why here in a second. And I generally make my mines 3 high, mostly so I can put a torch here. I'm going to come ahead and build this in here. Go ahead and fill this in. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, now I've got this giant shaft. I've got this little walkway. We're making a 3 wide high little base of operation right here. I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. And I usually make it about 2 wide as well. So we're going to go 3 by 2. And this becomes kind of my primary mine shaft for mining. And I'll just go ahead and gravel. Kind of make this out a little bit here. We got one more pickaxe in here. Let's go ahead and mine this out. Okay, so now what I've done is I've created this little base of operation here, and I can put things like furnaces down here. I can put a chest to like store some things, and I'm going to go ahead and mine out this way. I'm going to go ahead and mine out this way, but most of my mining will be done in this direction here and that direction here. We're going to basically expand out and then make mine shafts that run perpendicular to these bigger shafts. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And then the other thing I'm going to do is dig out right here, and I'm going to put some water right here. This is the reason we end up digging out 3 wide. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to go all the way up to the top. Actually, we're going to go all the way up to the top. I'm going to grab some more water so that we can get into mining. Okay, we come back up here. Let's grab ourselves some water. Another thing of water from our infinite water source. Close that up. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple more pickaxes. And I don't have enough wood. Make a second pickaxe here. Okay, that gives me some pickaxes. I'm going to come over here and put down my excess resources. I don't need any of that stuff. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. That. Okay, I'll keep the cobblestone for now. Okay, so we've put our stuff away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig this piece up that we had. Now one of the things I can do is while I can't fall and hit ground, what I can do is fall and hit water from any height. So I'm going to go ahead and fall. And this is why I make it 3 wide. This allows me to fall down here and not take damage and go down much faster than trying to traverse down this ladder. Now the other side of this is I don't want to hit this while I'm falling. And that's why I am going to do this, which is just build straight up, jump and place blocks until I get to the top. And this will create 2 shafts, one allowing me to jump straight down and the other for climbing back up. And this becomes a much more efficient way to get in and out of your mine. So here we go. We're working our way back up to the top. We got this above us. We'll drop that down. Boom, boom. And I'll just go ahead and put dirt back down here because it'll match. So now I've got a ladder to go up, and I got a fast way to get down. And this is kind of the traditional way of setting up your mine. Really, the only other things that could happen in this type of situation is if you hit lava at this level, you could just pour your water on top of it, and this would just become, that becomes your base. You don't have to go all the way down to the bedrock and work your way back up. Now, what I generally do is I'll start thinking about mining. Okay, and what I will do is I'll put a torch above each mine shaft I want to create. And most of this is just for a visual, and that way I can kind of count over. Now, ideally, when I'm mining, we would mine out kind of this 2 block and work our way down. There are different strategies for mining. In theory, I could mine here and then mine down this shaft. The problem with mining this close together and putting shafts this close together is that when I'm going down, this shaft right here, what can I see? I can see this block, this block, this block, this block, and that block, and then my bottom block. So that's 2, 4, 6 blocks I can see. If I come down and mine this shaft right here, how many blocks am I seeing? Well, I'm seeing the same 6 blocks. The problem is I've already seen these 2 blocks when I did this shaft over here. So one way I can avoid that problem is to come over here and put it here. Now we're going down and mining this shaft. I'm seeing 6 blocks. This I'm seeing 6 new blocks. Now the problem with this strategy, this is a strategy I used for years, is if I find, say, coal right here on this block as I'm going down, well, that coal is going to reach out 3, 4, 5 blocks over and take up kind of a block of resources right here. Now, if I'm mining down this shaft, what ends up happening is I will end up running into that patch that was right there. And so I'm kind of not efficiently mining as best I can. Yes, I'm finding everything along this path, but I don't necessarily want to find everything. What I want to do is find as many unique blocks of minerals as I can. And the way you do that is by going over a few more blocks. Because a coal patch can be up to like 6 deep. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You know, you could have a coal patch that runs this far over. Well, we don't want to run into a patch that goes 4 or 5 over. So what we'll do is about every 7 blocks, we'll start a new mine shaft. That almost guarantees 4, 5, 6, 7. This will guarantee that this shaft and this shaft, when we mine down them, we won't mine the same resources or run into the same resource blocks we would have if we had mined a little close together. And now the other side of it is I'll come over here and do the same thing on this side. I might start somewhere in the middle and then mine over every 7. I'm going to go ahead and clear out some more mine space here. And we found some Lapis Lazuli, the blue stuff. I don't think we found this stuff yet. This is very handy for enchanting, which we'll get to in a future episode. I'm going to go ahead and grab it while I'm here. Go ahead and fill this in just to kind of give it a cleaner look. Okay, so there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need 2 more. 2 more blocks over. Okay, and then I would start another mine shaft here. And then I would go 7 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'd probably start somewhere over another block or 2 for that mine shaft just to avoid this central area. And now, all we would do is mine down each of these shafts. Generally, my rule for how long these shafts should be, generally 3 to 4 pickaxes, iron pickaxes worth of traveling. That's basically enough to fill up your entire inventory with resources. Then I'll bring them back up to the top. I'll smelt the iron. I'll collect the diamonds. I'll smelt the gold, whatever else needs to be smelted, and I'll just store the resources for a later use in time. So that's kind of how I go about mining. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish this episode by mining this shaft right here and seeing what we get. Let's go. Diamonds! Always a girl's best friend and a Minecrafter's best friend. This allows us to make diamond armors and dimer tools, which is really handy when we want to win the game. Let's get back to it. Okay, this is one of the things you run into when you start mining down this deep, is areas with water and subterranean mines. In these situations, it's kind of an annoyance. What I would probably do here is try to figure out how I could block this off somehow and see if I could continue mining. Oops, didn't want to do that. And this is just going to probably be kind of a nightmare to deal with. Not going to lie. What I try to do in these situations is just see if I can fill this up somehow just to continue mining. Or probably the better solution is let's just go down and create a different mine shaft and just abandon that because it's kind of a pain to deal with. So I'm going to come over here and we'll try a different mine shaft. Let's do this again. Oh boy. Here's one of the problems you get with mining. See that skeleton right there? This is a cave. He's going to come down and I'm going to kill him. Come on down. This is the problem when you start mining down deep, is you begin to run into caves like this. And a cave by itself is not necessarily a bad thing because they tend to be very resource intensive. But at the same time, they can be very dangerous, as we can see here. These are dark areas, and in dark areas, things spawn. Like I said, these caves can be very dangerous. We saw them in previous episodes. You've got these, you see the little things falling down. If I were to mine this whole thing, this whole ceiling over here would fall. Let me show you. So you got to be careful about not getting caught underneath one of them. They can fall and kill you. I've had that happen to me. Whoa! Huh. That was a creeper. The most dangerous thing you can find in these mines is the creeper. And we found one. We were very lucky to survive that encounter, to be honest. Fortunately, we had armor on. That helped us to be able to survive it. The iron armor does quite a bit for that. But that was, not gonna lie, a very scary moment. And something that can happen down here very easily. This is why caves, if you're new to the game and you haven't played a lot, I would be very careful with exploring these caves. I would probably just, instead of going through and exploring, because there's lava pits in here, there's going to be probably other nasty things back in these caves, potentially collapsing ceilings, spiders in this case. Go ahead and kill the spider. That guy's not going to make it over to me. I'm just going to leave all this alone. But when you come across these, and like I said, you're not really good at fighting in the PvP aspects of the game, you can just kind of close it in and work your way around it. I'm going to go ahead and, we're here, let's go ahead and We've survived. Oh, you're coming back to fight me. Like I said, stuff can come back and hit you, so you gotta always be prepared at these levels to be able to handle the mobs that can come at you. Like I said, this is generally why, if you're kind of new to the game, you're better off trying to avoid these. Now we gotta find our, where were we? Where did we come in at? It all kind of got closed out by that fall from the creeper. I'll come in here and put some torches down so we don't get new stuff spawning right beside us. So if you do want to explore these caves, you always got to have a lot of torches with you. That would allow you to light up some areas, because that's what you're going to need to survive in this world. If you want to explore it, I just want to get out, so I'm just going to try to figure out where we came in before we were rudely interrupted by the creeper. But in the meantime, I'm going to gather all this iron. Might as well grab the resources while we're down here. Okay, let's see if we can find our way out. There we go, we're right here. One of the things that is pretty useful when you're down here, besides pickaxes, is the shovel. The shovel's a really good way to deal with all that gravel, because there can be large segments of gravel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the safe route here, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of all this, and we're just going to continue on our process. Now what I was talking about is if you don't really want to deal with mine shafts, what you can do is just kind of, caves, is just kind of close yourself in, and now you don't have to deal with them, and you can just continue on your mining way without having to deal with all the nasty surprises that can come into caves. So like I said, if you're new to the game, you're not used to PvPing and battling all the mobs and getting surprised like that, just close it in and continue on your merry way of mining, because that's really the safest way to go about collecting resources. Are these shafts, not going into those caves. The caves are a great way to get things like iron, and you can find diamonds in them, but a lot of times they're not necessarily worth the time it takes to explore them. So if you get better at PvP and you don't mind fighting the monsters, they're kind of fun just as a way to explore and maybe try to pick up some quick diamonds just running around rather than going through the mining. But this is the process of collecting resources that is dull, that kids really, really struggle with, because this can take a long time to get 30, 40, 50 diamonds. I mean, what'd we get? We've got 4 diamonds on this trip. A good trip is probably going to average 4 to 6 diamonds a trip of going down one shaft. Sometimes you don't find any, sometimes you find bigger veins of diamonds, and it just becomes kind of this grind of, hey, I need to come down here and mine to gather resources. And you just create these shafts. All you do is you're mining down them, and you're collecting the resources you come across. One of the things you'll note about this deposit of minerals, once I start digging it out, is the size of it. So I came across a whole bunch of stuff here. I came across iron, I came across redstone, I came across coal. Look how big I mined out right here. I went 3 or 4 deep that way, 2 or 3 deep this way, and you begin to see why I spread mine shafts out. Now when I dig down over there, which we were blocked by water, but if I wanted to go down that mine shaft over there, I'm not going to run into these resources I just collected here. This allows me to basically collect resources that are unique every time I go down a mine shaft. This is why I separate them by 7 blocks each time. Kind of an illustrative example of what I was talking about when we were setting up our different mine shafts. Okay, where are we doing on resources? We've about filled up our resources. I'm probably just going to finish this pickaxe out and go back and finish up this video. lava over there. Yeah, we don't really want to deal with that. Put this barrier right here. And this is one of the reasons I put these barriers here, so I don't fall off the side. I also put them here so that when you're running, you can not get stuck and find yourself off course trying to run back out. Because once you get done with these mine shafts, you want to kind of run out of them. You don't really want to walk out. It's way too slow. And that keeps you from like getting up on an edge and causing yourself to stop running. So it's just more of a convenience when it's time to leave. I don't have to worry. I can just run down the aisle and not have to worry about getting caught on something. Okay, let's keep going. And well, we've come across a lava pool. This is why we carry water. So I put that down. We're probably going into like a cave type environment. And this is kind of where you can sometimes find diamonds pretty readily apparent right on the edges of some of these lava pools. In this case, I didn't really find anything, but we found some more iron. And again, I will put down some torches so that we don't have mobs spawn on us. And we're going to kind of come around here. Some more coal. I saw some Lapis Lazuli. So we're going to grab that here. We're pretty much coming to the end of our pickaxe too, which is a good thing because we're running out of torches. Let's go ahead and drop this in. Big stash of Lapis Lazuli. And we have run out of space. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw away something that I'm probably not going to use, like this stuff. That way I can carry the rest of that. I'm starting to fill up my inventory. So, like I said, we get done with this pickaxe. We'll finish up this run. Make sure we don't see anything here. Let's go down a little further. So I like to run out my pickaxes. And doing that was very beneficial because we found more diamonds. Excellent. So this has been a really productive run. Uh-oh. In that I have found multiple sets of diamonds. And that was lava. One of the dangers for being down here is trying to come across lava. So we found 2 sets of diamonds. We kind of got unlucky. That was a 5 vein. We found a 4 vein earlier. A lot of times they show up in bigger veins. So like I said, it's kind of unlucky when you don't find a bigger vein than 4. A lot of times there'll be 6 and 8 veins. I said we were a little unlucky there. But that finishes up our run. Now we can just get out of here and see what we have. Well, let's get back to the surface. Still daytime. Let's come over here. We've got iron that needs to be smelted. I'm going to go ahead and fill that up with coal so it can go do its thing. Let's go over here. Let's put our valuable stuff away. We got 8 more diamonds. That's 14 diamonds. We'll throw in here. We got redstone. We're going to throw in here. We'll throw our iron in here. Okay, now we've got... Come over here. Let's discard of... Let me grab the more valuable stuff here. And we'll discard of stuff we don't really need. Generally, like the cobbled deep slate and the cobblestone, I separate out into their own chests. Mainly because they're kind of a building material. And I like to kind of keep them separate. The more diorite, the tuff, the gravel, andesite, granite, I generally kind of keep them in a chest by themselves in case I need any of this stuff again. But for the most part, I don't at least during the early game, I don't create chests for each type of rock. I just kind of keep the ones I use for building. Cobblestone, cobblestone deep slate. Those are the ones I use for that. The rest is just about keeping it around so in case I need it in the short term. I'm going to go ahead and put away the bones. Actually, let me go ahead and grab some of this stuff that's more useful. I like to kind of separate out by tasks. So like that becomes the spot for... This becomes stuff that's more valuable. Bones are pretty valuable. We got a bow now. We can shoot the arrows. We got to keep the arrows in the inventory. We got a bow. This will allow us to shoot things. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot it to the ground, collect it again. But like the flint can be useful. The shears are useful. Let's see. The book is useful. The compass is useful. Those are the things I'm going to keep in this top chest are useful things. The middle one I'm going to use for construction type materials and stuff I don't really need. And then the bottom one will kind of keep for food and food creation. And then in here we keep our kind of valuable chest. And we'll need to take like this redstone. It gets to be kind of big. What you can do with redstone is I can come in here and I can make blocks with it. And basically if you fill in all 9, you can create blocks. That's just an easier way to store it. We can do the same thing with the Lapis Lazuli. And the way you do it is you just come in here and you fill in all of those. And you fill it in as best you can like that. Now I can make 8 blocks. And that's a good way to store stuff that gets kind of out of control. The other thing that gets out of control is coal. You can get a ton of coal. So we want to turn those into blocks at times as well. And I can come over here and make some blocks of coal. And that allows me to kind of store it in a more condensed form, which would be useful because this stuff can take up a lot of room in your inventory. You don't want to just have it laying about easily. So it's nighttime again. We're going to go to bed. And that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. We've set up a mining operation. You know, now, like I said, we've kind of emptied our inventory. We put 2 or 3 put 3 or 4 pickaxes in here. We can go down and do multiple mine shafts. At this point, you know, this is the part of the game that gets really boring for young kids. They have a real hard time going down and just mining and mining and mining. As an adult, you know, that becomes a very relaxing operation. It's something that, you know, you can do just kind of whenever you feel stressed and you just want to kind of go out and just do something repetitive and get your mind off of your daily life. Mining is a very good activity for that. Now that we've got our mine center set up over there, we can just mine until our heart's content. And on that note, we'll finish up this episode. Until next time, have a great day if you want to.